The Department of Justice says the suspect had a pellet rifle when he was outside Mount Horeb Middle School, which caused lockdowns and eventually deadly force by responding officers last week. Arman Rahman looked into just how hard it is to tell those devices apart from guns and the toll an event like this can take on law enforcement. Arman?
Eric, experts say in a situation like this, there are many factors that race through officers' minds before pulling the trigger. It's not a decision they make lightly, but there are still mental hurdles they have to clear after they leave the scene. The Department of Justice says the 14-year-old suspect moved toward the middle school with what appeared to be a long gun. Police told him to drop it, and he allegedly pointed it at officers before they shot him.
It's a tragic ending. There's no doubt about that.
Brian Landers is a former law enforcement officer and current expert in police practices, tactics, and use of force.
In active shooter situations, for every minute that goes by, there's a chance of people dying.
The weapon ended up being a Ruger pellet rifle, not a normal gun. But Landers says you couldn't tell by looking at it.
Many of these, specifically pellet guns and air guns, are made to look and function just like an actual firearm. And it's impossible to know the difference between the two until you actually are able to touch and get your hands on it.
And it can still hurt someone.
At 500 feet per second, that projectile can penetrate certain parts of the body.
Currently, according to federal law, facsimile guns like airsoft guns have to be distinguished with an orange plug, but pellet guns don't. Landers says there's push for legislation to require some marking clearly showing the guns don't fire bullets.
Just has not really caught the attention of our lawmakers.
The incident in Mount Horeb has passed, and no other students, school faculty, or staff were physically injured, but it can still affect the officers on the job.
What can happen a lot of the time when people experience traumatic events is they can get sucked back into that event.
Experts at the UW-Madison Center for Healthy Minds says mindfulness techniques are ways for officers and the community to center themselves.
Feel your feet on the floor, feel the sensations of breathing, kind of bring awareness back to what's happening here in the present moment.
He says events like these can create a wedge between the community and the police if people are reactive.
Take a breath, pause, respond more thoughtfully instead of reacting automatically. That can go a long ways toward just a more positive outcome all around.
And the officers involved remain on administrative leave per agency policy. The DOJ says they were wearing body cameras.